Hey, what's going on, guys? Shikamaru back again. Today's a brand new video. And just so you guys know, we're doing this kind of camera angle right now because I did not want to actually go and get all the setup stuff done, do all the other stuff. I just wanted to get my Tower of God episode 5 review out for you guys because this is the most climactic episode of the series to date. So looking at Tower of God episode 5, I mean, where to begin, right? I mean, do we begin with what happened at the end? Do we begin with what happened at the beginning? I'm not really sure, and what's like really just wrapping my mind right now, how about we actually just start at the end here? So, discussing the end of episode 5 of Tower of God, I gotta say, things just truly got flipped upside down, and this show is doing an amazing job of answering questions without really giving us answers at all. It's progressing the plot without actually even giving answers, to be honest. And I like that because it's actually still progressing the plot. Something that's really hard to do, but can be done if you're making people ask the right questions, which Tower of God is because it has our full-on attention at the moment. So, looking at the end of episode 5, it begs you to ask the question of what's really going on in this tower and who is on whose side, as we see one of the administrators is going against his higher up guy and not telling him all the truths about Bam's Shinshu and how he became essentially, Shinsu, and also went above that constraint, which is usually typically, you're only typically granted that kind of power if you do make it to the top of the tower. That's whenever you get involved with Shinsu, from what we've actually been kind of implied or given, the info. I mean, that's what we could easily imply. So looking at also the other guy that actually did go above and beyond the powers of the contract, constraints that an administrator would give you if you became a ranker. They say he was the only other person that they know of. They discuss how they have heard of people that can do it, but they only have one name that they actually gave us that can do it. Whether there's more or not, who knows? But looking at Bam, we know Bam is a guy who doesn't even know about his powers. We see that that his Black March, one of the swords of the Black Month, see, that's such a mouthful. Black March, Black Month series swords. Oh man. But that sword actually has come to him and actually said, "You lost control, I see." And we see that she puts Bam down before he does something that he probably would never forgive himself, which was in that one girl's life that almost ended Rachel's. So the next question we have is, what truly is Rachel's motive? I mean, she's doing something so dangerous. She's gotten these other clearly overly powered, people with her. How does she have these connections? Who is she? Why is she irregular, but yet was outside of the castle grounds where, well, that's where you're not supposed to be, just on the outer side of the tower. That's where people live. Deep and far away from the tower is where people don't live. So it's an interesting question why she's all the way out there. And I wonder, maybe there's something, maybe we're going to get, a flashback of that where Rachel's probably doing something crazy and then she just actually stumbled upon Bam, which we know she stumbled upon him, but to be out there, who knows exactly what was going on. So, other than this though, once again, I do want to say that Khun is absolutely amazing character. He's such a cool character and he keeps this show going so well. He's been hiding 3 people in his bag this whole time, and that explains why he got it caught in the Shinsu barrier. He pulled them through, and then he even got discovered by one of the administrators. But hey, whenever you're doing something so crafty, your wittiness can speak just as much as your physical capabilities. Mental capabilities are everything. Shikamaru is one of the people that taught us that, right? I mean, I love shows that really break down why you did something. Even a show like How to Not Summon a Demon Lord, which I've watched, even that show, being a way different kind of show than this, and way different tone, it was very descriptive in the reasons why they did stuff. And I like when shows do that. It just adds depth to the action. And, I mean, if you're going to have a really great fighting scene, you need to have depth to the action. You need to have a storyline. You need to have like a concept. Like, why is the fight going the way it is? Why are these characters doing the moves they're doing? Is it just a battle of power? Yeah, you can get away with that with cool animation. That's awesome, and it could be a really awesome fight because animation speaks volumes. But this show tells a story with its fight. Or there's always just a story behind the reason to fight, and I always will get behind that. I really like that a lot, actually. So, other than that, though, the real game starts now, they also stated. And I'm ready. That's the title of this video. The real game starts now, Tower of God, Episode 5. But I do need to take just a quick peek down at my notes just to make sure I didn't actually lose anything and or miss anything, since this is such a different review for you guys. But so we did also find out that originally this is a huge one. Actually, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Thank God I did look at my notes. But hey, sometimes it takes getting a video right over professionalism per se. As long as you guys are enjoying the video and I can speak the video into greatness, I guess that's all that matters. But the actual most important part of this episode of Tower of God, episode 5 review, is what's going on with the tower. Well, we find out that the tower is actually here to expel those who could put in harm to the tower, whether it just be with their personality or whether it be with their sheer power. And we see that Bam's a threat, so the threat's gotta be removed. Kun, obviously he's probably a threat as well. Look at his mentality. He doesn't trust anyone. He's not just going to abide by the tower. I'm sure they already know, at least the guy with the hairpin, the administrator, that was talking to, was it Luro, I believe his name is? I believe that he's probably already knows Kun's a threat. He doesn't trust anybody. And it's amazing how he's teaching us some cool life lessons, but yet there's an ulterior motive for this tower. To protect the tower, to protect just the whole system is what it essentially is. This tower is here to regulate who's strong, keep your enemies close, right? Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And obviously all these rankers are very, very, very high up. And they're strong, they're powerful, they're the strongest of the strongest. They're probably in your top 100. You know, there's not a lot of rankers out there in general, you know, at least from what they imply. So keep your enemies closer than even your allies, right? And that's exactly what they seem to be doing. And whether there's an enemy and or ally that's too strong, we're going to get rid of you before you're able to truly, you know, just master that power, that capability, that potential. Now, the other guy makes you wonder who he is. Didn't show his face. You saw the tattooed wings on his back. What happened to him? What did they do with him? Who knows? That's a big question. There's so many questions. I mean, we get answers, but only in the we get like what I would refer to as sub answers in the show. They give you not even necessarily half the answer. They just give you the direction. And they visibly showcase us, you know, these characters developing and the story moving forward. And I think the secret in the show is it's hiding questions so we're so entertained and or intrigued, while it's also pushing us closer to the question. You know, it is progressively realistic, if I could put it that way. I mean, that'd be the best way to put it. And what I mean by that is the show is... it's more realistic in the sense of slowly getting to answers. They're timing it up, and they keep adding to the mystery. And I mean, that's really, think about it. In a detective show, what do you get? After you get an answer, you get more mystery. You get another question until finally you get over that hump of questions and answers even, till you get to the main, like the cream of the crop answers, the ones that are really getting you close. And that's what the show's doing. It's making us ask questions. It's giving us answers, whether it be describing the world or just be giving us some character info dumps. And they've already given us the concept of what the tower is. So now what's going on behind that concept of the tower, or what that concept of the tower really means, is just now getting explored. So therefore, it's progressively answering questions while also adding questions, and that's awesome. It's just so balanced, and you know, in that sense, I think that's really kind of where I've come to why Tower of God's so good. But other than that, though, and his choreography is amazing, music, everything. But other than that, though, I think the biggest question, I believe his name is Luro, because he did refer to him, so he said, Luro, you're letting what he said get to you. So I'm pretty sure that's that administrator that's white, has like the clown cheeks, which I love his voice actor. Wow, his voice actor is amazing. But I believe that's who that is. And the question is, who is he? What side is he going to side on? Because obviously he's known that the tower has been this way. Because he even said, why are you bringing that up now? I already know that. And then he kind of like, why would he lie? Why would he not say Bam is one? We do have someone that's exceptionally strong. And that's the reason why I got those three up here. I wanted those three very strong people to get rid of the exceptionally strong people. And of course they knew who these people were. They had to know they were princesses, I'm sure. There's no way Rachel and a princess and that's going to slip underneath the radar. I know they ask questions, but I'm sure the administrator knows who they are. I mean, especially by now, they all know who they are. So, I mean, they can probably put a face to the name. If they're princesses, then yeah, they're going to have too big of a face to be overshadowed. But that goes to show that these princesses haven't made it to the top of the tower yet, which we see that most princesses are just blessed with immense power. They're so fucking strong. And as we get shown here, I mean, look what they did on the first floor. But I think this really comes down to what side is Luro going to fall on? And if that's not his name, I'm so sorry. But the clown guy, you guys know what I'm talking about. I just implied that was his name from the way they did the dialogue. But what side will he fall on? Will it be the left, or will it be the right side, or will it be the left side? It all just depends. So, yeah, I'm really interested in what's going to go on with him. It's just so hard to tell what side he's going to go on. He's acting like he's on the bad people's side still. He gave me no implication of like being for the good guys, but he also didn't give me any implication of being for the bad guys. He really comes off anti-hero. He definitely thinks for himself. You can definitely tell he's someone that's not just focused on what's going on with the tower and what the tower cares about. He's interested in himself. He's smart enough. He's interested in things about, by himself, separate from them. He's looking for questions, he's looking for answers for the questions he has clearly with Bam and whatnot. But for some reason he lied and didn't say Bam was there. Obviously he's doing this for some reason. He is trying not to say Bam's there because he wants to keep Bam alive, clearly, or else he would have just told him, said yeah, and then Bam would have been gone because none of those guys are strong enough to deal with this yet. And we all know it's going to go through Bam's strength. He's the key to the power to change all this, clearly, which they don't want to get changed, which is why they expel them. So that's a big question. Massive question there. Not really sure what's going to happen with that. I'm just so damn curious to see what side he's going to fall on. It's just, why would he? Obviously, there's something. He's getting answers, but one of the answers had a hitch in it and just didn't make sense or connect to him. It was believable, but it wasn't believable enough. So, and sometimes in certain situations, you can never give an answer that's believable enough. It's just not possible because the type of story it is, So, yeah, other than that, though, guys, hope you guys did enjoy the video. I thought this was going to be about 7 minutes. It said 7 at first, but then all of a sudden 5 minutes kicked in. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me to Rex25. Best video I could have done for you other than just old style. But, man, my phone camera looks better than my $1,500 camera. It's all about the lighting, man. At least that one looks good in dim lighting. Maybe I'll start shooting videos over here with that puppy. Let's go. See you guys. Let's get hype. Tower of God got me that hype. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. I'm not weird.